Recorded live November 7th from the Memorial Union at Iowa State University, this is Media Break 1985. Sponsored by the Iowa State University Media Resources Center, Media Break 85 showcases the new technologies of instruction. Recorded live, this is Media Break 85.
Hi, I'm Bob Lindemeyer, Assistant Director of the Media Resources Center, and we're making a live recording, our second of Media Break 85. During the next hour, we're going to be playing back for your review a couple of recent productions done by the Media Resources Production Unit, as well as interviewing a number of participants here at the 9th Annual Media Break. Media Break 85 includes some 38 different booths and exhibits brought together to demonstrate the new technologies of instruction here at Iowa State University. As I mentioned, Media Break has been in existence for 9 years, but there's another interesting story that covers virtually 2 decades or 20 years of time here at Iowa State University, and that's a recent production that the Media Resources Center has just finished called 20 Years. And it describes the 20 years of the W. Robert Parks presidency here at Iowa State University. The program was put together through the use of a number of historical and current film and videotape clips that have been incorporated into about a 27-minute production that's titled 20 Years. And as I mentioned, it reviews the 20-year administration of W. Robert Parks. So for your viewing, here's 20 Years.
A university is a dynamic thing, always seeking, stretching, and generating new ideas. Iowa State, seeking, stretching, and growing in its first 100 years, became one of the nation's foremost land-grant universities, solidly grounded in agriculture, home economics, engineering, veterinary medicine, and the basic sciences. Iowa State distinguished itself in teaching, research, and public service. Its influence was felt in every town and township, and through its graduates in every state and in foreign nations around the world. But in the mid-1960s, a remarkable confluence of forces began to propel this university to heights exceeding all previous hopes and dreams. In 2 breathtaking decades, teaching responsibilities more than doubled. New research pressed further back the boundaries of the unknown. New buildings arose from the Green Hills. An entire new South Campus was born. Course offerings expanded and melded the humanities with Iowa State's traditional strengths to bring forth a truly broad-based university. All this and more came in 20 years of remarkable development that will cast its shadow well into the next century. Understandably, these years, from 1965 to 1986, will be known as the Parks years.
I certainly do not object to the last 2 decades being known as the Parks years. In all candor, however, such a label does me a great deal more credit than I deserve, because there have been a great many people who have participated in, have contributed to any success this university has had during those years. And this is the way I really think it should be. My philosophy of administration, from the day that I became president of Iowa State University, back in July 1, 1965, has centered around the belief in broad participation in policymaking and in shared responsibility in administration. I believed then, and I'm even more convinced now, that the president of such a great and diverse university as Iowa State cannot perform his or her leadership function well unless he or she is surrounded by good people in the immediate circle of his or her administrative colleagues, and I have been very, very fortunate in the choice and performance of my administrative colleagues. But beyond that, he or she, whoever is president, must be surrounded by good people throughout the entire university, people who will do their job conscientiously and well, whoever is president, or if there were no president at all. I'm immensely grateful for the honor and the privilege of having been associated with just that kind of people throughout my years as president of Iowa State University.
Wherever you go on this beautiful campus, you see the signs of Iowa State's emergence as a university of international science. In his inaugural address, President Parks called for a blending of the sciences and humanities in what he termed a new humanism. He expressed the belief that the education of the scientist and technologist should be within the context of a liberal education. That charge set in motion a chain of events which transformed what had begun as a model farm into an institution of higher education with concerns for the full range of humanity's most urgent needs. Iowa State maintained its formidable leadership in agriculture, home economics, engineering, veterinary medicine, and the basic sciences. But the flowering of the humanities, the liberal arts, the fine arts, and the performing arts brought a new dimension to the university's image and efforts. The lives and learning opportunities of its students were immeasurably enhanced. Three new colleges, education, design, and business administration came into being. Disciplines grew, matured, and earned independent status in such areas as history, government, philosophy, speech communication, English, and sociology. New undergraduate programs were added, ranging from agricultural biochemistry to computer engineering, music, anthropology, international studies, religious studies, and social work. More than 20 new graduate programs were added in such diverse fields as biomedical engineering, community and regional planning, public administration, and water resources. The honors program was strengthened to challenge the most talented of the undergraduates to pursue independent study in areas of their personal interest. Iowa State's growth and development attracted national attention. The university's broadened role in the humanities brought forth a chapter of Phi Beta Kappa, which took its place on the campus alongside Phi Kappa Phi. For only the second time in its history, the president of Iowa State was chosen as president of the National Association of State Universities and Land-Grant Colleges. And for the first time in history, its president was named president of the Association of American Universities, an organization of 52 of the leading research universities in Canada and the United States. New construction was another mark of the park's years. Building cranes loomed continually over the Iowa State skyline. No fewer than 37 major new buildings or major additions, nearly 2 a year, came online, in a massive effort to meet the needs of an enrollment that nearly doubled. In those 2 decades, the total investment in those additions came to $253 million. Estimated replacement cost today, nearly $580 million. In a period of just 6 years, from 1969 to 1975, the Iowa State Center and the stadium emerged from a cornfield. These buildings were gifts to the university and the state of Iowa from alumni, friends, and students. Total cost, $27 million. Present replacement cost, probably $72 million. With the nearby addition of a new College of Veterinary Medicine, a whole new South Campus was created in less than a decade. Then there were residence halls for both single and married students, and major classroom buildings wherever you looked. Striking new buildings for new colleges, and efficient and beautiful renovations and remodelings of other buildings. In 2 decades, the Iowa State Physical Plant was transformed into a teaching and research facility worthy of a university with national and international influence and obligations. Laboratories such as this are characteristic of the growth in one of Iowa State's traditional missions, research. Responding to the needs of a state and nation undergoing tremendous economic, social, and technological stress, Iowa State University's powerful research program has undergone great change and adjustment in the last 2 decades. As the shortage of oil and gas threatened to throttle the nation's economy, Iowa State took the lead on energy research. As the economic crisis gripped farm and town alike, Iowa State's economists earned national recognition and respect at the highest political levels. As environmental concerns moved to center stage, researchers in the labs and in the fields sought ways by which a growing population could live safely in an agricultural world infused with chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides, and an urban world imperiled by hydrocarbons and chemical wastes. High tech were the buzzwords of the 1980s. But Iowa State was high tech long ago. The university contributed importantly to 2 of the most dramatic developments of this century: the production of atomic energy from uranium and the invention of the electronic digital computer. Now, Iowa State is moving into the areas of microelectronics, biotechnology, productivity enhancement, and alternative energy resources. Iowa State researchers are on the move, looking not just at the next decade, but the next century as well. Knowing that answers to perplexing problems must come from intensified research, Iowa State increased its research budget by 300% in 2 decades. It exceeds $65 million annually. Look at them, the students. They flock to Iowa State University in record numbers. In 20 years, enrollment has soared from 12,400 to more than 26,000. Quality came as well. More National Merit Scholars enroll at Iowa State than in any other university in Iowa. More than in any other Big 8 school. In fact, Iowa State ranks 23rd among all the nation's universities in the number of merit scholars. Each year, hundreds of the finest students across the country compete for scholarships offered by the ISU Achievement Foundation. Quality attracts quality. Enrollment of women and minorities has increased enormously, and the number of adult students 25 years and older has doubled and now exceeds 5,000. More than half of all Iowa State students come from the top 25% of their high school classes. You might not think this old building is a reflection of the newness and growth of this university, but it is. It is headquarters of a major emphasis, Iowa State's international commitment. One of President Parks's first acts was to initiate a study of Iowa State's role in international affairs. As a result, Iowa State's campus reached out to embrace the world, and that activity is centered in the Old English Office Building. Young Americans come now to study and live in an atmosphere culturally enriched by the presence of students from more than 100 foreign countries. Enrollment of international students has risen to 2,400. International students learn American ways, and Americans in increasing numbers study the languages and literatures of other countries and co-major in international studies. And they study abroad. International scientists and political leaders beat a path to Iowa State. Since the 1975 opening of Sheeman Continuing Education Building, thousands of foreign visitors have attended international conferences here. 70 countries were represented at ISU's World Food Conference of 1976. Responding in the extension tradition, Iowa State faculty members and researchers have taken their expertise to less developed countries in Asia, Africa, South America, and Europe. These experiences, combined with the number of high-ranking third world government officials who are Iowa State alumni, have opened doors to international export trade on which Iowa is heavily dependent. Iowa State's expanded international involvement is one of the university's most significant developments of the last 2 decades. Of all Iowa State's spectacular accomplishments of the last 20 years, none exceeds that of the heart of its academic life, its library. The library's collections have tripled in size, and 2 major additions have made this building a superb modern setting for study and research. New emphases on the humanities, social sciences, and the arts, while continuing to build on the institution's long preeminent collections in science and technology, have brought even broader recognition to the Iowa State Library as a major state and national resource for teaching and research. Appropriately named the William Robert Parks and Ellen Sorge Parks Library in 1984, with the completion of an $8 million addition, the library saw its use jump from 1.5 million patrons a year to more than 2.5 million patrons a year. The library's holdings of scientific journals and serials are among the best in the nation. The library's state-of-the-art media viewing center, completely outfitted for video, audio, and optical disc, is exceptional, as are its computer facilities and services. The Department of Special Collections houses more than 25,000 rare books, 2 million manuscripts, and 430,000 historical photographs. Soon to join the Parks Library as a part of the university's academic heartbeat will be the new $10 million Computation Center. It will be the very nerve center of the electronic network linking every college, and will speed present computing capacity for faculty by 10 times and for students by 50 times. Standing side by side and linked together, these 2 great learning and research tools, the Parks Library and the Computation Center, will help propel Iowa State into the next century. Out over the state, places like this have sent a signal to the university. Iowa's main streets, farms, and businesses have been altered remarkably and in some cases disastrously in the last 20 years. They have been pummeled and buffeted by crises in energy, environment, world events, and economics. As it has from the day it opened, Iowa State has responded to these people's needs. Early in his administration, President Parks consolidated university extension services into a single unit to better serve the state. And today, University Extension is in the forefront in helping Iowans cope with the constantly changing challenges of the times. Iowa State's Extension economists have been nationally acclaimed for the attention they have focused on the farm crisis. Extension specialists in agriculture and home economics have supported field staff who have counseled thousands of farm families confronted and confounded with overwhelming financial and emotional problems. Specialists have worked with thousands of families and youths whose dietary needs have been put under great stress by economic conditions. 4-H work, now in both town and country, continues to benefit and involve thousands of youths and volunteer leaders. Specialists from CIRRUS, the Center for Industrial Research and Service, advise Iowa's small businesses. Other Extension representatives work with chambers of commerce and local governments in helping to stimulate economic development and adapt to the modern methods of the computer age. Computers link county and area offices to the central campus, as the latest crop and pest information is made instantly available to every area of the state. Conferences are organized to help farm operators, business people, and professionals in engineering and other fields make use of computer technology. As Iowans attempt to adapt and cope, more than 80,000 each year turn to the hundreds of Extension credit programs and non-credit conferences held throughout the state and on Central Campus. As was the case with its famous corn trains of the last century, TV and computers of this century, Iowa State is now moving into video satellite technology to more effectively assist agriculture, business, and industry. University Extension at Iowa State has been in the forefront of the changes sweeping over Iowa in the last 2 decades. It will continue to be. Among the changes that have rolled over these green hills of Iowa State in recent years, none has been greater than the revolution in the arts, both performing and visual. Magnificent new facilities set the stage for a true flowering of the arts. C.Y. Stevens Auditorium, Fisher Theater, Brunier Gallery and Museum, the new music building and galleries in the College of Design. Each vastly changed the image of Iowa State and added a new dimension of humanism to university curriculum. Within little more than a decade, the great orchestras of the world had performed on the Iowa State campus with envious reviews from coast to coast. On the campus, the sound of music was everywhere. And dance students choreograph, perform, and work in various dance groups, including a dance tour company. Students serve as actors, set and costume designers, makeup artists, technicians, directors, and managers in performances in Fisher Theater. Running parallel are year-round productions sponsored by Student Union Board, Memorial Union's widely known maintenance shop. The Brunier Gallery and Museum bring exhibits, lectures, tours, special presentations, and art sales, which attract 40,000 visitors a year. In addition to the Brunier collection itself, featuring ceramics, glass, and dolls, the museum offers a wide range of visual arts: prints, painting, drawings, sculpture, photography, crafts, and tapestries. The flowering of the arts has truly been one of the most conspicuous and spectacular changes to have occurred on the Iowa State campus. Spectacular describes the growth and development of Iowa State athletics over the past 2 decades. From the Armory to Hilton Coliseum in 1971. From Clyde Williams Field to Cyclone Stadium Jack Trice Field in 1975. The Southwest Athletic Complex in 1980, providing baseball, track, tennis, and softball facilities second to none. Sellout crowds for both basketball and football. Launching of a full-fledged women's athletic program, with women's cross-country and track titles in the Big Eight, nationally, and an Olympic gold medal winner. In men's gymnastics, Big Eight championships and ranking among the nation's top 10 each of the last 20 years. Throughout the period, Cyclone wrestlers were nationally ranked, and in 1972 earned 3 Olympic medals. In 1984, the Cyclone men's track team won both the indoor and outdoor Big Eight titles, and among many other honors, had 4 athletes in the Olympic Games. Iowa State is one of 3 Big Eight schools to sponsor the full complement of 21 sports. Far more important than buildings and victories, however, is the commitment, so clearly established during these last 20 years, that athletics should first serve to enhance the education of young people. Nothing more clearly demonstrates the explosive growth of this university than to realize that 2/3 of all living Iowa State alumni have graduated during the Parks years. In those 2 decades, alumni numbers grew from 45,000 to 128,000. But the impact of alumni on the explosive developments which took place on the campus was even more dramatic than their numbers. Nothing so completely changed and enhanced the image of the university as the Iowa State Center. Alumni, joined by faculty, friends, and students, provided this magnificent complex as a gift to their university. Visitors continue to marvel. Without breaking stride, they built the stadium. The construction of such magnificent improvements as the Parks Library addition and the $30 million agronomy building were catalyzed by alumni seed money and support. Then they focused on the academic needs of the university with gifts in wills, land, equities, and cash. They met the original $50 million goal of excellence in the 80s in a mere 3 years, funding the most critically urgent of those needs not met by state funds. These efforts were spearheaded by those captains of industry, the Board of Governors, and members of the Order of the Knoll, whose ranks grew to more than 800 in 17 years. But many thousands joined the effort, including graduating senior classes, who have been pledging gifts averaging $150,000 before they even leave the campus. Now energies are focused on constructing the Computation Center, which grows out of the university's single largest ever gift, $3 million from alums Chuck and Marge Durham of Omaha. Always, alums have made the difference. But especially has that been so in the last 20 years of the university's eventful life. They will be remembered as the Parks years, but they belong to all who shared in this exciting era. Bolstered by the achievements of those years, the university is poised to advance into a new era. There are opportunities for all, students, faculty and staff, alumni and friends, to participate in the continuing development of this great university. The things we do today and tomorrow to strengthen the university's capabilities in teaching, research, and public service will leave their stamp on Iowa State University as a new century dawns.
Hi, we're back with our recorded live from Media Break 85. During the remaining part of this second hour of our recording, we're going to be interviewing a number of the applications of microcomputer technology in instruction here at Iowa State University. And before we get into those interviews, let's have this brief PSA message.
Recorded live November 7th from the Memorial Union at Iowa State University, this is Media Break 1985. Sponsored by the Iowa State University Media Resources Center, Media Break 85 showcases the new technologies of instruction. Recorded live, this is Media Break 85.
Hi, this is Bob Lindemeyer, Assistant Director of Media Resources, and we're out on the exhibit floor here at Media Break 85. Now I'd like you to meet Bill Yaffe, who's an instructor in the Hotel, Restaurant, and Institution Management curriculum.
Right,
is that right,
No,
Bill?
yeah, that sounds real good.
And you're making an application of microcomputers to instruction within the HRI curriculum?
Mm-hmm. What we've done is we've taken various food product material from a lot of different sources, put it on microcomputer, and we teach this in our hotel restaurant food purchasing class.
Okay, so they can look at these programs and analyze how to do the correct specifications for a purchase. Is that it?
They can do it on an independent basis, and then when we get them back in the lecture and lab setting in the classroom, we talk about the applications of it, writing the specifications, the management applications of the products. Information.
Have you got a program on here that we can take a look at?
Yeah, we do. This is product.
Let me stand over here on your side, and then maybe the camera can get a look at that monitor.
This is the product on the. Let's see. This is fresh fruits and vegetables. This is on processed products, cherries. I'm kind of away from the return button. Cindy, press return, and I'll show you how this works.
Press the return button for us, Cindy. You be our remote computer operator, if you will.
What it does, it gives all the different product information. This will be on canned peaches, tells what the grades are, what different product information the student would need to write a specification to get this product for their food service operation. And it's all self instruction type. They can just go at their own pace, and if you hit return again, I think we'll get a quiz here. And the information works real well to
quiz time.
To let the students go at their own pace. And there are some evaluations on the software also.
All right, now these are commercially prepared programs that you've purchased for the curriculum, is that it?
No, these are things that we compiled ourselves. Graduate students in our department, working with one of our computer experts, put this together from all different sources, USDA sources and so on.
All right, thanks very much. Bill Yaffe from the Department of Hotel, Restaurant, and Institution Management. We're going to slip on down the line here and talk with some of the other microcomputer applications of instruction here at Iowa State University. The booth I'm just passing currently not being manned, and so we'll skip that one over, but that's from the College of Business, Marketing Department Micros, and as you can see on the sign, Transportation Logistics. We're going to go on down the line and talk with another booth here that's got some applications being made in management. Katie Noakes, is that correct?
That's correct.
Katie, tell us about the application you're making with microcomputers.
We have several models, and we have Gantt charts and PERT charts and Q charts, and basically what we do is we teach the students how to use them in their working conditions.
All right, and these are designed evidently for the Zenith Micro, is that correct?
The Zenith 100s.
Are these commercially prepared software packages that you've purchased, or are they things that you've designed within the college?
They're things we've designed within the college.
All right. Can we see a little demonstration of something?
Okay. This is a Gantt chart, and what it does is it projects completed and projected phases of production and it plots it according to relations to time. So what we do is you enter in your task descriptions and your task duration days and the employee categories, and then it generates the Gantt chart, which is over here, which the stars are the Gantt chart, and it shows how many days each task is going to take in terms of production. And a manager will use it to see when he has to start production in one phase in order to start the next phase of production.
Now, are these similar kinds of programs that are being used actually out in management industry practice?
Yes, they are. This and the PERT chart are what managers use to see when they need to begin production in order to have it out on time.
What level of class is this? Is this the advanced students, or where does it fit in the curriculum?
This is for Management 330, which is the Information Systems beginning class, and so it's the first of a series of the Management Information Systems courses. And it's for juniors and seniors, and then they go on and take the Management 432 and 438.
Thank you very much, Katie. That's interesting. Let's go on down the row here now and talk with another one of the microcomputer applications that's being made here at Iowa State. This is Kurt Carlson, who's not only a staff member at the Administrative Data Processing Unit, but working with the VISIA Central Committee. Is that right, Kurt?
That's correct.
Tell us about your application.
What we have running right now is the diagraph application, and what it does is you can pre-select different types of graphs to come up on the screen, and then also insert text and so forth.
Why don't you swing around this way and we'll see if this camera that's behind you can get a look at that monitor. That's evidently a piece of graphic art that's being developed. Is that correct?
That's correct. Right now we've just got the VISIA 86 symbol on there with the tentative schedule of events of VISIA coming up. So it's a very useful package. What we did with the computers, last year we wrote a proposal to HP to see if they would donate us a couple of computer systems, and that's how we've got these. Now, we also do many other types of things like word processing, spreadsheets, and use a database for different types of information also.
For actual management of the VISIA activities.
Right. Now I can give you a demonstration.
Yeah, we'd love to.
We'll just print what's out on the screen. It'll take a few minutes.
This system is being designed to print out then with the laser printer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we're going to see that come out here in a little bit. Is that it?
Right.
Tell us about the laser printer. I understand that's a very precision and attractive new kind of printer.
Right. The reason why it's attractive is it's very compact and it's very quiet, and it has a capability of printing up to 8 pages per minute, which is also, it's a letter quality printer. You can enter different types of font styles so that you get all different types of print, such as the portrait type prints, that kind of thing.
It has a very high resolution, I understand.
Correct, correct.
That must be an excellent application with the graphics kind of thing that you've got up on your terminal then.
Here it comes right now.
Now, when it says laser printer, does that mean it's actually using a laser beam somehow?
In some way, yes.
I hear it making a noise. That means it's doing. Oh, here it comes. Let's hold that up and point it over here.
Very quiet. Currently, it's set on a grid that's smaller than the page. It's set at the grid as far as what's on the terminal right now. We need to increase that size.
All right. Well, that's very interesting. The applications you're making then are not just graphics, but also management of VISIA accounts, activities, schedules. I suppose you've got the parade list on there and all those things.
All different types of things, the VISIA budget and so forth.
The VISIA budget. What does a VISIA budget amount to these days?
Last year in revenues we had $100,000. In expenses we were at about $85,000.
So you actually made some money.
Exactly.
What happens to the money that's left over?
What we do is we invest that money so we can use it in future years in case they run over. We invest the money into the university.
Was the laser printer that we've just seen demonstrated, was that also a gift from the Hewlett-Packard Corporation?
Correct, yes.
That's mighty fine.
It was nice, the Hewlett-Packard company.
I should say it was. Are some of the applications that you're making with the computer systems actually done by students? I I understand that you're in part a staff member,
right? I'm the VISHA General Co-Chair this year.
Oh.
And we've selected 2 computer coordinators to head up our data processing department of VISHA so that they can coordinate all the different functions, because this is basically our pioneering year for the computers.
All right. Well, thanks very much for talking with us. We're going to be wrapping up these interviews at this point and going back to our central control.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Recorded live November 7th from the Memorial Union at Iowa State University, this is Media Break 1985. Sponsored by the Iowa State University Media Resources Center, Media Break 85 showcases the new technologies of instruction. Recorded live, this is Media Break 85.
Mike, to what do we owe this visit by the pep band?
We're going for the Lindy Award this year for marching band.
Going for the Lindy Award.
Darn right.
No, what I thought I'd ask you about was your upcoming band extravaganza, which is when?
This Sunday starts at 2 o'clock at C.Y. Stevens Auditorium.
All right.
And it showcases just about all the ensembles in the music department. Jazz 1, Jazz 2, wind ensembles 1 and 2, the clarinet choir, the double reed band, and of course the best part of the evening, the marching band.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have a little bit of affection in my heart for the marching band, being the announcer of the marching band. But I want to tell you that one of the things we ought to do at this point is to give you a real plug and show that 30-second PSA that was produced by the media unit, Dennis Goring, about band extravaganza. So if you got that tape, let's play it. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 1985 ISU Band Extravaganza. On Sunday, November 10th at 3 p.m. in C.Y. Stevens Auditorium, the ISU Music Department will feature the wind ensembles, jazz ensembles, and the ever-popular Cyclone Marching Band. Cost of admission is $2 for adults, $1.50 for students, children, and senior citizens. November 10th for the 1985 Band Extravaganza. Well, that was an exciting visit by the Iowa State Pep Band. We're back with our recorded live from Media Break 85. In our third hour, we're going to be doing some additional interviews with some of the exhibitors that are here, and we'll give you an opportunity to share some of that new technology in instruction here at Iowa State University. This afternoon, we're recording actually 4 separate one-hour programs as we visit Media Break 85. It's an opportunity to see some of this new technology. A moment ago, we got to look at the new laser printer. Yet today, we'll have an opportunity to see the widescreen, or large screen, I should say, television projection systems, a couple of different applications of interactive videotape and its application to instructional settings. A very interesting program has been designed employing that technique to be used with the library instruction program here at the university, and in our third hour, we're going to be having an opportunity to see that kind of an application. Throughout the hall, there are some 38 different booths and exhibits being demonstrated about the new technologies in instruction. In a moment, we'll be going on to, as I mentioned, see some of those applications. But first, we're going to have an opportunity to review a program produced by the Media Production Unit here at Iowa State that provides an overview of the services of the Media Resources Center. Let's play that tape now.
Recorded live November 7th from the Memorial Union at Iowa State University, this is Media Break 1985. Sponsored by the Iowa State University Media Resources Center, Media Break 85 showcases the new technologies of instruction. Recorded live, this is Media Break 85.
Okay, I think I gave you a bum steer there a moment ago about the tape that we were going to see, but we are ready to show you now a program produced by the Media Production Unit about the services available at Iowa State's Media Resources Center, the sponsors of today's Media Break. Here's that program now about the Media Resources Center.
Another production from Iowa State University's Media Resources Center. You've seen them frequently both on and off the campus. But what goes on behind the scenes at Iowa State's Media Resources Center? Established in 1969 to centralize the university's audiovisual services, the MRC has today evolved into a comprehensive media development and service agency functioning in support of university-wide academic needs. The mission? To help faculty members improve the quality and effectiveness of their instructional efforts and make it possible for students to avail themselves of more meaningful learning. With headquarters in Pearson Hall, the MRC is organized around 2 major divisions: Media Services and Media Development. The Media Services Division provides all the more traditional audiovisual services so important to supporting classroom presentations, while the Media Development Division concentrates on working closely with faculty to design and produce instructional packages and materials in a variety of formats. With a full-time professional staff of 35, and a small army of students and part-time helpers, the Media Resources Center provides a myriad of services across the campus. The Services Division is centered around an audiovisual equipment distribution system and a comprehensive film-video library, both of which are headquartered in Pearson Hall. The central equipment pool and a network of 48 classroom and laboratory satellites schedule and distribute an inventory of audiovisual and video equipment valued at some $800,000. Last year, nearly 60,000 faculty requests for items of audiovisual equipment were served, reaching an estimated 2.25 million students in classrooms and laboratories. Many classrooms come equipped with screens and overhead projectors. But perhaps more importantly, all classrooms display this little sign, which leads the way to the nearest equipment satellite and a complete range of media equipment. If the nearby satellite does not inventory what's required, it can be scheduled from the central facility at Pearson Hall. Recently, the Media Resources Center added large-screen video projectors to its equipment pool. These systems provide state-of-the-art video viewing in the classroom and will even display computer output for large audiences. Certainly unique to Iowa State is the Government of the Student Body, GSB, Media Equipment Pool. A vast array of media gear purchased by the GSB and exclusively available for ISU students, this equipment is maintained and scheduled by MRC for student use in support of class assignments and extracurricular activities. The GSB pool includes projectors, recorders, video systems, and more than 45 35mm cameras. A total inventory of over $70,000 of audiovisual equipment. The MRC Film Video Library encompasses almost $700,000 worth of instructional films and videotapes, which are available to faculty for in-class use at no cost. The library maintains close liaison with a similar library at the University of Iowa and provides catalogs of both these collections to all faculty. Additionally, the MRC library will search and order films and videotapes from other libraries across the U.S. for a modest handling fee. In the past year, over 5,200 films and videotapes were scheduled into classrooms on the campus. The MRC Film Video Library also circulates their collection off campus to other colleges, universities, and high schools, an activity that generates income to support and expand the holdings of the library. In order to coordinate and schedule this circulating of materials, the library employs a sophisticated online computerized booking system, which not only ensures priority to ISU's faculty, but optimizes the circulation of all materials. The Media Services Division also operates specialized services for the duplication of both audio and video tapes and the repair and maintenance of audiovisual equipment. Additionally, consultation is provided for the purchase, utilization, or installation of all audiovisual devices, as well as for the selection of media materials. Each year, usually in the early fall, the entire Media Resources staff participates in the annual Media Break. Media Break is a day-long drop-in workshop-type media fair designed to acquaint the ISU faculty, staff, and students with media services and support available. Development activities depart considerably from the traditional image of audiovisual services and provide for a closer partnership with the faculty. The Media Development Division is headquartered in newly remodeled facilities in Exhibit Hall. Here, MRC instructional design and production specialists collaborate with faculty to systematically develop learning systems, packages, and materials. These consultation, design, and production services by both professional and skilled technical staff are provided free of charge, except for materials used and out-of-pocket costs. The Development Division includes instructional and faculty development services coordinated by professional staff experienced in instructional design, teaching, and evaluation, as well as media production. The Development Division includes both the Media Production Unit and the Media Graphics Unit. The projects undertaken typically begin with a discussion between interested faculty and the Assistant Director for Media Development. At this stage, consultation is frequently provided by the Coordinator for Instructional Development. Major development projects are assigned to one of the 4 staff producers whose job it is to match the most effective medium and approach to the unique requirements and objectives of the instruction involved. All instructional support projects are produced free of any labor charge. A number of projects are handled exclusively by the graphics unit. These include the design and execution of slides, transparencies, posters, and displays. The graphics unit includes a staff of 7 skilled graphics designers and artists, experienced in translating instructional and informational needs into effective formats. Recently, the graphics unit has incorporated into its operation a highly sophisticated computer graphics design capability, which provides rapid, artistic development of slide transparency art. For faculty who want to create their own graphics, a do-it-yourself media lab is available on a walk-in basis in Pearson Hall. The production unit, in addition to producing instructional materials, does a significant number of projects under state and federal grants and contracts, and for outside nonprofit sources. During the past year, some 120 projects were undertaken by the production unit, ranging from simple video lecture recordings to a major 27-minute full-color documentary film. Recent projects completed by the production unit include Library 160, a 4-part video series produced for the required undergraduate course on how to use the ISU library. Excellence in the 80s, an 18-minute color film for the ISU Achievement Foundation, produced as the cornerstone of a $50 million fund drive. The Pork Value Program, a slide tape program produced for the National Pork Producers Council. Intensive Assistance and Teacher Dismissal, a 60-minute video for the ISU Department of Educational Administration and the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. Cyclone Football. In the past year, some 25,000 feet of 16-millimeter film and over 30 hours of videotape were shot in support of the athletic department. The ESL Classroom Teacher, a 5-part video series produced by the ISU English Department as a second-language teaching program, funded and distributed nationally by the Iowa State University Research Foundation. So whatever your needs, from assistance in selecting media materials, securing audiovisual equipment, or producing a series of videotapes, feel free to contact the Media Resources Center, the service agency at Iowa State that takes pride in supporting the university's tradition of excellence.
Well, we're back just to wrap up this second hour of Media Break 85, and I've got a couple of wonderful guests with me I want you to have a chance to say hello to. Dr. Bill Oglesby, Director of the Audiovisual Center at the University of Iowa in Iowa City. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Bob. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you here.
Well, I'm glad to be here. We look forward every year to coming to Media Break. You really do a tremendous job, and you're to be congratulated.
Thanks, Bill. We're glad you're here. And on this side, Gary Sheely, who runs the Media Center at the University of South Dakota at Brookings. Is that right?
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State. Got to keep those straight.
That's right.
Well, welcome to you, Gary. I understand you brought some of your staff along today, too.
I did. I brought 4 staff people down. We're glad to come down. We've heard about it for a number of years, but this is our first chance to see, and we're really excited about what we see.
Well, very good. Thanks to both of you for coming. Now we want to give you a credit roll of all the folks who are helping us to participate in Media Break 85. Here they are.